In fact, the most important burden is the result of the uncertainty that is being created by the Trump administration, because there is a lot of unpredictability coming from the administration of President Trump, and this brings many businesses to halt their project for more modernizing their businesses. They are stopping their investment, waiting to see how it's going to evolve. And therefore, we ask Canada to take action because tariffs and border controls are a federal responsibility. Mm-hmm. So we ask the Canadian government to establish retaliatory measures that will not hurt our own businesses.
Christine, it was a Trump presidency that agreed the last big trade deal with Canada and Mexico, the USMCA. And on the surface, and I just want your reaction to this, it sounds very reasonable that Trump is saying, no, anything that's USMCA compliant, we're fine with as well. It's the stuff that's not compliant with as well. If I was taking an American point of view, I would totally understand why you want more compliance with USMCA.
In fact, we need a stable context for business. Our economies are truly integrated. We have a lot of business.
I've seen the electricity that goes across the border in both directions. It's very complex.
We do export electricities, Ontario as well, and we have a big plan in order to double our electricity production. We have clean, renewable and stable, reliable energy, and this is an asset that is important, a strength that is important for Quebec. And so we need to increase our trade relations with the U.S. and with Mexico. The North American economic space is an important player at international level. But what is going on is a sort of disintegration of our economies, a sort of North American Brexit, I'd say. And therefore, this is not a good news for North America as a whole. And not only for Quebec and Canada, it's being negative, but also for the U.S. economy.
Because I thought, and I've spent a lot of time looking at US energy over the years, and this is more of a statement than a question. I thought Canada was part of US energy independence, or North American energy independence. I didn't realise it was part of the problem, apparently.
I want to get to the end game because you mentioned some sort of Brexit-style outcome here. I think some are still hoping we're just in a negotiation phase, even if it is a very strong reaction by markets that we're saying that it could just be a maximum bravado moment from the administration, from Trump himself, the art of the deal. Is that the case? Are you still hopeful that there could be a way out of all of this?
Yes, we are really hopeful, and we hope that negotiations will start very soon. And there was a first discussion between Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, and President Trump, and they agreed to start the negotiation as soon as possible. And so we think that right after the election, the Canadian election, in a few days, there will be the beginning of these negotiations. We need a stable space, economic space, in order to do business and to increase the integration between our economies. We have different strengths, and we need to take advantage from them. And Mexico as well is an important partner in this.
That said, investors and businesses can only hold their breath for so long before they pass out. And the question here is whether we're now getting to territory where we're looking at recessionary signals because the lack of certainty has gone on for too long. What are you seeing in terms of local businesses and their ability to weather this storm?
Mm-hmm. In fact, they need to invest, even though the context is uncertain, and they need to diversify their export markets. And this is why I'm in UK, because we want closer ties with our European partners. Europe is a natural market for us, but we need to increase our ties with European countries. We are too dependent from the American economy.
Is Europe a friend, though? Because everything you just mentioned, or Steve mentioned, in terms of what you focus on and what you make in the local area, it sounds like a competitor to Europe. And to me, it sounds like now, instead of being further up the food chain, making you more resilient, more protected, you are just a threat. We've got a threat from the Chinese coming as they move into these higher manufactured goods, a high quality level. We've got a threat from the United States that's seeking to pull up its borders. Europe is seeking to make Europe great again. It feels like there's no protection, even if you're very high up the food chain now. Would you agree?
In fact, we are a small economy, so we need to have commercial ties with a lot of countries. The American market is a natural one, but we need to have ties with other part of the world. And Europe, France, UK, Germany are important markets for our businesses, and we need to help them increase their trade relations with all these markets and in other places as well.
Can I